Hey, look at that. Can you guess who it is here? Munson, with you. Sounding a little bit like I've just got up. In some ways I kind of have. The man in the hat. A Grallia now. You don't want to see my shadow side, do you? Let me just tilt up. I've not long been up in many ways. Well, the most obvious way, physically. Bit of a lie-in. Been an interesting week here in Portugal, and for those of you who are watching the video, giving you a bit of a treat. More boats in the bay than I've ever seen. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They might be seaweed harvesters. That's the thing. Tell you about that this morning. I'm sat on my Flintstones chaise longue here, and I'll give you that as a final shot. Somebody very thoughtfully has rolled some rocks into place, and they form a kind of Neolithic chaise longue upon which I can sit and speak and cogitate and mentally masticate whatever's been going on. Nazaré over there. I was told it was very busy in Nazaré yesterday. The town very busy at the moment. Height of the tourist season, isn't it? We're mid-August, aren't we? And more boats, even more boats. Oh, and in the sky, look, can you see that on the video? There's a glider in the sky, and I suspect this isn't a manned piloted thing. I think it's like a remote control glider in the sky. I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see what's on the screen actually. But look, the blazing sun of Portugal as well there. That glider flying into the sun. But I'm going to come back down and just pan across the bay as I unload the contents of my mind with you this morning, if you'll indulge me. Yeah, here with the dogs. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is Grallia. Beautiful place. Bit windy, that's why I've taken my sock off. I've actually taken one of my socks off and put it over the microphone. I don't know if it's working or not. I hope it is. It might be completely muffled, and you might be quite appalled by the idea of me speaking to you through my sock. Peggy's here. Jimmy's gone off and does his wander on the cliffs. He's like a mountain goat. And what a lovely moment here this morning. The water's crystal clear. I don't know if you can see down there. But take it from me, the water is crystal clear as you go in, ankle and knee deep. I was swimming in the bay last night with the kids. We've got into the habit. I think we went 3 times last week. It's absolutely wonderful. We come back from Foz, Óbidos Lagoon and Foz de Relio. And not so great for swimming there. Nice for a paddle, but you can't see what's underneath your feet. And I think because it's not industrial exactly, but because it was a fishing place and where people trawl for barnacles and fresh water. Well, it's not fresh water. It's where the sea meets the fresh water. Or is it all salty water in the lagoon? I don't know. I called it an estuary a long time ago and got told off for that. So I don't want to make... Well, I do make terrible guesses, don't I? Terrible choices in life and terrible guesses about what's going on at the Foz de Relio, where the Foz de Relio mouth. The Foz means a mouth. I found that out yesterday. Foz is a mouth. An estuary. It was not an estuary, it's where the Óbidos Lagoon meets the Atlantic. So I guess it is a bit salty, and as I was saying, you're not quite sure what's underfoot with all that's gone on there over the years, and it doesn't get churned up quite as much and as cleansed as things do at San Martinho de Porto's Bay, where we were swimming last night. The fire in Serra da Estrela, I was reading this morning, continues to blaze, and I'll probably cut and paste some prose, somebody really very movingly describing what's going on and their pain about the trees that have been burnt, and how trees apparently scream when they're on fire and they kind of burst open. I think that's referred to in the poem. I'll find that for you. But it did leave me with a feeling of great sadness about the fire that's been burning in Serra da Estrela for I think 8 days now. This is the 9th possibly. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Hopefully the sock will have filtered that for you. Yeah, 8 or 9 days of that fire. The at one end of it. Well, I spoke to Nuno, didn't I? Nuno Mendes of Winsurance, and he was talking about. It seemed quite plain about it, that a lot of it was to do with government incompetence. That's what happens, isn't it? When you're a national, when you're a local, when you're an indigenous person, you have a very different political view. It's not quite as wide-eyed and honeymoonish as it might be when you're a newcomer, like I am, relatively speaking. Oh, there's Jimmy. Hello, mate, where are you going? Going to the other part of the beach now. A bit of rock hopping. Yeah, so the locals are quite cynical, I think, about what's going on with the fires, lack of investment, lack of breaking of promises, and for the newcomers, like myself, others, it's great sadness to see it and thinking, it's a largely natural phenomenon and not so cynical perhaps. One conspiracy theory angle is that lithium mining occurs. I don't know if it's happening, if it's in progress, but it's certainly a prospective site for lithium mining over at Serra da Estrela, and the most cynical of conspiracy theorists are just thinking it's tied up with that. They're just destroying the place and they want to raid it and rinse it for all its lithium worth. As the world's appetite and desire for lithium grows, attention is partly in Portugal and its lithium reserves. So we shall see about that. But I remain moved and saddened by what's going on in the Serra da Estrela and how it was described in this Facebook post that I saw, that it would take decades for that landscape to recover. And I'm keen to help in some way with that, and just figuring out the best way to do that. I mean, let me know if you've got ideas about that, if you're connected with something to do with the I'm trying to think of the right renovation, not refurbishment, reforestation. I mean, hopefully not loads of flipping bog paper. I mean, isn't that an interesting thing about our culture? There we are growing trees for paper, office paper, toilet paper, the marks of what you could call our civilization. And the cost of that is that we've lost a massive site of great natural beauty and interest. It's a strange irony in that, isn't there? That's what we're doing, so that we can wipe our bottoms in a civilized way, and that we can print out endless reports that amount to nothing a lot of the time on pieces of beautifully white A4 paper, all from the eucalyptus trees of Portugal. And then they catch on fire and a whole landscape burns, which is going to take decades to renew and recover its balance. And so if you do know anything about that, and if you want me to cover that in any greater depth, let me know. Good ideas welcome on that. To kind of rest in peace and recovery, Serra da Estrela forests, huge area. Fogos.pt will give you the insight into how much of it is, the ongoing emergency, and I suspect other sites, Portugal News, Portugal Resident, and if you want to translate, the Portuguese newspapers will give you a sense of the devastation, obviously. It's not over yet, by the way, but hopefully it will come to a conclusion soon. On natural phenomenon, last night, are they the Perseid showers that we get to see at this time of year? I saw the most amazing. We're looking at that glider in the sky. I don't know if you're able to see that just now if you're watching the video. But last night, out walking the dogs, just over there on Millionaires Row around the corner from me, saw this amazing white light streak across the sky, thinking, well, that's between me and what the aeroplane altitude would normally be. An incredible bright light in the sky, and then it just fizzled out, and I realised it was a meteor, shooting star meteor. It was just so beautiful, and the biggest I've ever seen in my life. So that, and recent sightings of the wonderful fireflies. There's a particular firefly who I've befriended when I'm out walking the dogs in the evening as well, that is as bright as an LED. It's like a green LED. It's just so stunning, and it often finds itself or places itself in the same place where I'm out and about. And did you see that little creature fly past then, down the cliff? It must be waiting, attracting its mate with its beautiful green glowing back. I was going to say bottom. It's not its bottom, it just seems to be integral to its back. I don't want to poke it and look too much. I actually thought somebody had dropped there was a rave going on near us. I thought somebody had dropped a glow stick or some sort of electronic device that they were partying with. It was actually a natural thing, a bug with its own LED lighting. Absolutely beautiful. So there we go. Meteor showers, glow worms, fireflies, whatever you would want to call them. Those things don't seem to do it justice, but you get the sense of what I'm talking about. Serra da Estrela Mountains. Oh, and while we're podcasting, vodcasting, whatever you call it, communicating, having a chat here, got a nice, I've been doing the postcard from Portugal, doing the Good Morning Portugal podcast. Slight change there. If you have been a listener to the Good Morning Portugal podcast, which has been the audio of the morning show, you'll need to catch that now on the Facebook page of Expats Portugal or on the YouTube channel, and do it that way. And this will be the Good Morning Portugal podcast will be more like this, and more specifically a recording for your ears. Although this is another one of those exceptions. And Carl, what are you talking about? This is a video. Well, for some of you, you're seeing the video, and I can't deprive you of this beautiful scene here. And if you are watching on audio, check out the Good Morning Portugal YouTube channel as well, so you can see what I'm talking about here. But I have you in mind, you people, you aural people, that it might be only convenient for you to listen. So what I'm doing this morning is this, so that you can hear the backdrop, the natural, beautiful backdrop of Gralha, Peggy Pooper rolling in the dust here, and the sound of the sea. I want you to hear that, if nothing else, and invite you as well. Yeah, that's what I was getting around to saying. If you've got a question, it's great to respond directly to the mailbag, frankly. So if you have a question, it'd be lovely. I mean, send it to me, Carl at goodmorningportugal.com, or Facebook, WhatsApp, whichever means you're connected to me. WhatsApp would be great though. If you want to record a voice message, like, Carl, what's going on with this podcast? You kind of keep teasing us with all these pictures you're talking about and images. What's up with that? Record that on 00351 913 590 303. That's the country code for Portugal, 00351 913 is my Portuguese number. When you get here, you'll need that. Well, I hope you'll stay in touch, and you will drop me a message. Send me a picture of your new life in Portugal on 913 590 303. And please record, for the purposes of this podcast, an audio message. Hi, Carl, this is so-and-so listening in. Something just occurred to me. What's your favourite bacalhau recipe? Oh yeah, talking of bacalhau recipes, I want to do a video. It's a trailer, really, for my supermarket service. I want to take people around supermarkets, which I thought, why would anyone want to be shown around a supermarket? Well, that turns out, I think it's actually quite popular. And it can be quite a daunting thing. You know, some people, I guess it's type A, type B personalities, different strokes for different folks. I love just being in a new country, walking into a supermarket and orientating myself with the culture by just immersing myself and being embarrassed, being ridiculed, being scared, all of that. It's not everyone's cup of tea, it turns out. And if you'd like a tour of a supermarket, I can take you to my local, I can take you to your local, as long as it's not too far away. And we can have a walk around together. But I'm going to make a little video trailer of that service, and give you a few insights just from the trailer, actually, about whether to weigh on. Do you have to weigh your vegetables or not, or do you have to take them to the counter? What is that smell? That will be the bacalhau. Aroma. It's not fair to call it a smell. Why is there so much Portuguese wine in here, and why can't I buy a New Zealand, Australian, French, or any other kind of wine in this shop? And I'll take you through the regions, I think, as well on that video of Portugal, as best I can. Hola, bom dia. Hola. And I will give you a little tour of a supermarket. So I got distracted there. I had my Portuguese panic, you see. I said hola, bom dia, and then I get responded to with something I don't quite understand, and then I'm on the spot, and at the same time as talking to you and recording here. But they're talking about my dog, who's just shook herself. She's just shook herself, and a great dust cloud has emanated. Come over, Peg. Come here. Come on, jump up on here. Come with me. That's it. Come on up. There's a good girl. And so I think I got away with that. Those folks didn't think me rude. Thought, idiot's talking to somebody on the phone. Anyway, thank you for being here with me this Saturday morning, looking out at the Atlantic coast. Maybe you're on the other side of this Atlantic. Maybe that's where you are. Waving to you then, over there on the other side of the Atlantic. How you doing? Let me know anything, any questions, any concerns. How can I help you? The whole moving side of moving to Portugal, well covered with what we do at Expats Portugal. Keep tuning into the morning show. All the functional stuff of moving over, all the great associates and professionals that you need to work with. I talk to them, every day throughout the week and month, Great people who will help you move to Portugal. And, for me, the softer side of it, the other side of it, the shadow side of it, there he is, there's the shadow. Me and Mrs. M want to talk to you about making a home here. A house is not a home, right? Cue the song. But, helping you feel at home here in Portugal is really important. And it's something we've worked hard on for the last 5 years here, coming up to our 5th anniversary of being here. There's a difference, a distinction. There's all the functional stuff you have to do, and there's the rational stuff. There's all the the rights and wrongs, the goods and bads, and then there's your own personal, emotional, human experience here, and that always fascinates me, and that's what I love to talk about. And it's not a mainstream thing, really. I don't think a lot of people do want to talk about that, but some do, and I take a great pleasure in dealing with that part of it. The unexpected, the spiritual, emotional, mental aspects of being a migrant and moving abroad. So on that note, on that ponderment and wonderment, with this view and that idea, I wish you well. Have a great weekend, and speak to you soon. There's a bird flying. Is that you? Is that a metaphor? I don't know if you can see it if you are watching the video. There's a single bird, a solo flying bird there, making its journey from one side of the bay to the other. There's a metaphor right there, isn't there? Sense of direction, wind blowing in its face, probably unexpected twists and turns around the corner of that little bit of headland sticking out. Who knows what lies beyond the expectations and beyond what we imagined. And just wish you a great weekend. Bon fin de semana, and I'll see you on the morning show real soon. Okay, bye for now. Take care.